Hello everyone. Today we will interact on a very small but important topic, surveyor and surveying. Here we will discuss on or interact on few terminologies first, which is very important in surveying. Then we will talk on survey lines, parts and types of surveyor, purpose of surveyor and procedure in surveying. As you all know, the difficulty in inserting a removable partial denture, trimming, adjustments, complaint of the patient due to lack of retention, and so many problems. The same trimming is not possible with the cast partial denture as you have done for a temporary acrylic RPD. So when compared to the normal acrylic RPD, the trimming and guesswork of arbitrary blocking out will not work. So you have to be very systematic, or you should have a scientific background for designing a cast RPD. Here, the importance of surveyor and surveying comes into picture. So initially, earlier, before the invention of surveyor, it was a guesswork or eyeballing, which was used to identify or to understand or to locate the position of height of contour or block out. But with the advent of surveyor, it became more scientific and it became easy. So surveying is very crucial step in the removable dental prosthesis. Dr. A.J. Fortnati was the one who introduced surveyor first in dentistry, and it was the Ney Surveying Company which invented the first dental surveyor. So before moving on to the details regarding surveyor and surveying, you need to familiarize yourself with a few terminologies, and they are surveyor, surveying, guiding planes, block out, survey line. So we will discuss each terminology based on glossary of prosthodontic terms, and you should know the terminologies. You should know the definition of the terminologies. So we will see what is surveyor first, then we will see what is surveying, and later on guiding planes, block out, and survey lines. So surveyor is a paralleling instrument used in the construction of a dental prosthesis. It is a paralleling instrument used in the construction of dental prosthesis to locate and delineate the contours and relative position of abutment teeth and associated structures. So it is a paralleling instrument. You have to remember the term paralleling instrument. Under surveyor, it is a paralleling instrument, and it is useful in locating and delineating the contours and relative position of abutment teeth. So you have to be very careful when you write the definition of surveyor. It is not an instrument which is used to design RPD. It is a paralleling instrument which is used to locate and delineate the contours and relative position of abutment teeth and associated structures. Similarly, surveying, an analysis and comparison of the prominence of intraoral contours associated with fabrication of dental prosthesis. Now guiding planes, they are vertically parallel surfaces on abutment teeth and or dental implant abutments oriented so as to contribute to the direction of path of placement and removal of a removable dental prosthesis. Guiding planes is a terminology which is being used quite often in a cast RPD. So the definition of guiding plane is very important. Then you have block out. It is elimination of undesirable undercuts on the cast. And the blocking out procedure is a process of applying wax or another similar substance to undercut portion of cast so as to leave only those undercuts essential to the planned construction of prosthesis. So there are so many undercuts. Some undercuts are favorable, some undercuts are non-favorable. So you have to identify which are the favorable undercuts or the undercuts which will provide you retention. That is included in the design, and unfavorable undercuts needs to be blocked out. So again, as I mentioned earlier, block out is also another terminology which is being used widely in cast partial denture. There are different types of block out which we will be discussing later. Next, it is survey line. It is a line produced on a cast by a surveyor, marking the greatest prominence of contour in relation to the planned path of placement of the restoration. Survey line, another important terminology which is being used widely in surveyor and surveying, is a line produced on a cast by a surveyor, marking the greatest prominence of contour in relation to the planned path of placement of the restoration. So here we use lead pencil or a graphite pencil, which will identify the height of contour. That will be marked on the tooth, and that is the survey line. Then we will talk on the significance of survey lines. There are three important aspects which you need to consider when you talk about survey significance. They are: all rigid components of the partial denture must be kept occlusal to it. That is the first point which you need to consider of survey lines. You have a rigid as well as flexible components with a removable partial denture, cast partial denture. All rigid components of the partial denture must be kept occlusal to it. Normally, only the terminal third of the retentive clasp is placed gingival to the survey line. That is because that is the flexible aspect or flexible component of the cast partial denture. So it can be kept below the survey line. And the survey line also helps to locate areas of undesirable tooth undercuts that must be avoided or eliminated by contouring or placing restoration on the tooth. Sometimes you need to modify the tooth so that you will have a favorable undercut for placing a particular clasp. That is what it is being told in point number 3. Another terminology which is very important is height of contour. It was first coined by or first used by, the terminology of height of contour was first used by Kennedy, and it represents the greatest bulge of diameter of a crown when viewed from a specific angle, and that changes as the vertical position of the tooth is being changed. So you can vary the height of contour based on your inclination of the tooth. So sometimes we incline the tooth to a particular degree, or you will give a tilt to the cast so that you will have a more retentive removable partial denture by engaging the undercut. So when you tilt the cast, the height of contour will change. So as your necessity, you can tilt the cast. You have different tilts which we will be explaining in the procedure of surveying. Tilting or tipping the cast will cause the height of contour to move accordingly. Even though the term was used by Kennedy, Devine is the one who went ahead with the clarifying terminologies related to height of contour. That is, he called the position or portion of the tooth above the height of contour as suprabulge, and the surface which is being present cervically to the height of contour as infrabulge. Now we will continue with the next aspect, that is survey lines. It is Blatterfine who classified the survey lines, and the survey lines is a very important short note. There are different survey lines. We will see in the later slides what are those survey lines, and it is been divided into 4 types. So before moving on with the types of survey line, you need to know 2 terminologies, what is near zone and what is far zone. If the buccal and lingual tooth surface are divided into 2 halves by vertical line through the long axis, as you can see in the picture, the near zone is that half which lies nearer to the saddle. Saddle is nothing but edentulous area. The far zone is the one which is being away from the saddle, that is from the edentulous area. So you need to know these terminologies. Without this terminology, survey line will not be complete. So the survey lines is been classified, as we had seen earlier by Blatterfine, into 4 categories. That is high survey line, medium survey line, then low survey line, and diagonal survey line. So you can see the picture, near zone and far zone is marked on that particular tooth. See the difference: high survey line, medium survey line, low survey line, diagonal survey line. You will get a confusion only between medium survey line and diagonal survey line. To differentiate between medial survey line and diagonal survey line, you check the axis which is being drawn. For near zone and far zone, in medium survey line, the inclination or the line which is being drawn is not so vertical. So it is been the survey line is almost like a straight line with slight curvature extending from near zone to the far zone. But for diagonal survey line, you can very well appreciate that is from near zone it is starting from the occlusal aspect and going down way towards the cervical line near the far zone. So individually we will see what is high survey line, what is medium survey line, what is low survey line, what is diagonal survey line. High survey line appears much nearer to the occlusal than the gingival surface of the tooth in both near and far zone. Near zone and far zone. Near zone is nothing but the area which has been close to the edentulous area or saddle, and far zone is the area which has been away from the edentulous area or saddle. It may arise as a result of abnormal tooth form where occlusal surface has a considerable longer perimeter than the cemento-enamel junction. It can also result from inclination of tooth. So you have two reasons for high survey line. One is because of the anatomy of the tooth, next is because of the inclination of the tooth. And it is frequently found on the buccal surfaces of upper molars and lingual surfaces of the lower molars. Is seen usually on the buccal surfaces of our upper molar and lingual surfaces of lower molars. Moving on with the medium survey line, it appears on the buccal or lingual surface of the tooth, approximately equidistant from the occlusal surface and gingival margin in near zone and slightly nearer the gingival margin in the far zone. So it appears on the buccal or lingual surface of the tooth. It can appear on both sides, wherein we have seen that for high survey line it was the buccal surface of maxillary molars and lingual surfaces of mandibular molars. Here it can appear on either surfaces. There is no particular position for medium survey line, and it is equidistant from the occlusal surface and gingival margin in the near zone and slightly nearer the gingival margin in the far zone. That is the terminology which that is the keyword with the medium survey line. And usually in this case we go for an occlusally approaching clasp. So the design of the clasp is basically dependent on the type of survey line which you are getting after surveying. Then next is low survey line. Marked inclination and the conical tooth are the areas where you can see low survey line. And it cannot bear a retentive clasp arm. So in these cases you need to modify the tooth either by means of restoration or by means of a full veneer crown, wherein you have to make the tooth to a favorable survey line. So if the tooth has got a low survey line, it cannot bear a retentive clasp arm. So you cannot give a clasp. You have to go for additional retention features like the proximal undercut or extended arm clasp or a crown, as I have told earlier. And in the low survey line, all the survey line will be on the cervical aspect of a particular tooth. Diagonal survey line, you get a confusion regarding medium survey line and diagonal survey line. Only difference is you have to check for the inclination of the line. As we had seen earlier in the medium survey line, near zone the survey line starts at an equidistant position from the occlusal as well as gingival margin. But in the diagonal survey line, it lies nearer the occlusal surface than the gingival margin in the near zone of the tooth, and similar opposite condition exists in the far zone. So it is right from the extremities. From near zone it will be from the occlusal aspect, and on the far zone it will be on the cervical aspect. So the inclination is very sharp, the line is very sharp, whereas in case of a medium survey line it is not as sharp as that of the diagonal survey line, and it is usually found in buccal surfaces of premolars and canine. You can give reverse action or hairpin clasp and ring clasp in case of diagonal survey lines. Occlusally approaching clasp is given in case of a medium survey line, but when it comes to diagonal survey line, see the clasp which you will give reverse action or hairpin clasp, or you can give ring clasp. So the clasp design also is based on the survey line which is been there in that particular tool. Now we will move on with the